Hello, folks. Happy Thanksgiving. The Vancouver Canucks are giving us trades to try to be thankful for this October. So let's get into this one. The Canucks acquiring Sam Lafferty from the Toronto Maple Leafs and trading away a 2024 fifth round pick. Let's start with the trade away. 2024 fifth round pick, equivalent to essentially nothing. Let's be real with ourselves. Sam Lafferty. Who is Sam Lafferty, right? He is a 28-year-old right shot center, something the Canucks are very much lacking. Now, you might be looking at this and saying, why? Well, they got Pius Suter as your 3C, you got Teddy Blueger as your 4C. What do you need another center for? And it's really a center slash wing role that has some other upside that we will get into. He's only played 210 NHL games. You'll notice 3 seasons with the Pittsburgh Penguins, maybe an Alvin Rutherford special going back to guys that they know quite well, but decent numbers. 59 points. You see this 2022-2023 season. Last year, he played in 70 games. He had 27 points. Quite respectable for essentially who's going to be a fourth line guy. Previous year, going from Pittsburgh to Chicago, 56 games, 13 points. Again, still not that bad when you take into account the games played. Plus minus hasn't been great to him, but it's not a huge stat for the most part. Analytically, let's take a look at the JFresh card. So last year, wins above replacement wise, we pull this up here. He was above 50% wins above replacement. Now you might look at that and be like, wow, that's like second, third line player numbers, but you can see what really drove that, right? 2021, 2022, he was much better offensively and defensively when it came to actually driving play. But his finishing took a big step up last year, having those 12 goals, right? Those 12 goals were points that he is not normally getting. So he scored on a lot more of his shots, which brought his value higher. He's going to regress back probably to at least this model thinks around the 23 percentile mark, which is a solid fourth liner if you think about it, right? If your replacement level player is a guy who is like a bottom tier fourth liner, maybe a tweener, like your sort of 13th forward, having a guy who's better than 23% of players in the NHL would put you essentially as a very good fourth line player. Not going to drive a lot offensively, to 23%, 23rd percentile there, 51st percentile on defense, but a big one here is penalty kill. We know the Canucks were absolutely atrocious on the penalty kill last year, so this might have something to do with the move they're making there. So all in all, if you just look at it from a fifth round pick for this player point of view, who played third line minutes last year, that seems great. Toronto gave him up because they have other players pushing for those roster spots, and he sort of just got pushed out. The thing is that fifth round pick is not the only cost here, because the Canucks had to make a roster spot for this, right? They had 22 guys on the roster out of 23 possible spots to stay below the cap, but this move, because Sam Lafferty makes, I think, $1.15 million per year. It says 1.2 here. $1.15 million per year. They were above the cap. So Rick Dhaliwal reporting that Studnicka is on waivers after having a great camp, as the Canucks are very, very tight to the salary cap. And the Canucks had their post at 11 a.m. here, basically setting down Wolainen, bringing up Hirose in return, which I like personally, although that puts Wolainen on waivers. That's a different conversation that we will have tomorrow night on Canucks After Dark. Make sure you are subscribed to the Canucks After Dark YouTube channel. And Jack Studnicka also on waivers. Looked like he had earned a fourth line spot out of camp, right? He looked like he straight up earned a roster spot. But the Canucks went out and sort of went to a team like Toronto, who has essentially an extra guy that wasn't going to make their team, and said, hey, we'll take him off your hands. And they are thinking this is a slight upgrade on Jack Studnicka, who is, he's 24, so I don't love giving up on a 24-year-old player as much. But it's a player who really hasn't done much. 85 games, 15 points. Last year, he had 8 points in 47 games for the Canucks, and wasn't really a standout. But his camp showed this year that it looked like he might have some potential still left in the tank. So a bit more of a get better now move for a guy like Sam Lafferty. He is an unrestricted free agent after this year, so keep that in mind, although I don't think he'd be due for a huge raise. And keep in mind, look at this position here. I said fourth line center when you already have Pius Suter and Teddy Blueger, but he plays all over the place. I mean, he's listed as every position. And when we go to, let's go to cap friendly here, or we'll go to the line combos from Daily Faceoff. You can see Jack Studnicka was sort of filling in this fourth line winger role. And then when Mikheyev makes it back to the lineup, someone gets shoved out, right? Whether that's Dakota Joshua, Studnicka, or Niels Oman. You have to think with Lafferty coming into the fold, they might be more willing to use him as a 13th guy or swap him in and out for a guy like Joshua or Oman. So yeah, let's take a look at cap friendly. The Canucks right now, they were cap compliant. Now they are $3 million over the cap. However, with Tucker Poolin and LTIR, $692,917 over the cap. So about $700K over the cap. And they are at a full roster size, 23 of 23. However, you'll see here, Mikheyev's technically not on the roster, but his cap hit does count as he's not on LTIR anymore. But Jack Studnicka makes $762,500. So sending him down allows the Canucks to really only be over or under the cap by, I guess that'd be about $70K. And that allows you, the closer you are to the cap limit when you're using LTIR, the better. It allows you to maximize that LTIR space throughout the season. So Studnicka is the odd man out. Phil DiGiuseppe was not getting sent down anytime soon. Niels Oman, I don't think was either, but Niels Oman was waivers exempt, right? They could have pushed him down and not had to potentially lose the asset that Jack Studnicka is. Will Studnicka get claimed? It's a good question. There's a lot of players going on waivers at this time of year, and teams sort of have finalized their roster. If they want to pull him in, they're going to have to send one of their own guys down. So it could happen. I'd say it's probably slightly likely to happen, but there is a chance that Studnicka gets through and is playing for the Abbotsford Canucks this year. And let's take a look at where this sort of puts the Canucks lines, because like I said, Sam Lafferty is, a center, but he's listed as a right wing center or left wing. If he was good, he would be a complete asset to have in a position-based fantasy league. So you'll see essentially where Studnicka was fitting in with Oman and Bluger, Sam Lafferty seems to going to be taking that spot. But there is a slight wrinkle to this, and I want you to take a look at the Canucks centers. Elias Pettersson, left shot. JT Miller, left shot. Pius Suter, left shot. Teddy Bluger, left shot. Where you get into trouble with having a bunch of guys who shoot left is in your own zone. If you're taking the faceoff to your goaltender's right, when you win a faceoff on the backhand, you're pulling it directly to your goalie and not into the corner. You want to have guys, at least one guy who can win a defensive zone faceoff on the right side. Sam Lafferty, pretty good faceoff guy, and having a right-handed faceoff guy, especially for the penalty kill, is going to be a pretty big asset. The Canucks were just missing, and it's a real problem that the Canucks had. That does solve this problem here, so that might have been part of their thinking as well. But let me know your thoughts on this and really what it means for the team. Does this make a real difference to you, having Lafferty over Studnicka? I think it probably is a slight upgrade for the team as a whole, and for a team fighting for every point. If Sam Lafferty earns you 1 point this year that Jack Studnicka wouldn't, that might be the difference. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. And like I said, Monday nights, 10 p.m. Canucks After Dark over on the Canucks After Dark YouTube channel. You can find that linked down below. I'll see you next time.